Hi, how are you? I hope you're amazing. I'm gonna be amazing too. Look what an amazing water I'm gonna be drinking. Lemon water. Lemon water, my friends, and I already have it poured into my cup. But you know what funny? The funny thing is I drank it before and I choked on just the water itself and it wasn't fun. Let's hope it won't happen today. So the topic I want to talk about today, I'm not really an expert in it. I've never really thought of it besides like watching some movies and having my own opinions and like, oh, they should have been together, or like, no, they shouldn't have been together, or like, any other opinions a teenager could have. But yes, I never really thought or watched any new movies that have the plot of like right person, wrong time. And I just want to talk about that a little bit. Also, what scares me is that I didn't like prepare any like outline what my thoughts will be following, so it could just be as well just a yapping like a rant of an insane person, and I'm today like in the role of insane person, but that's not the first time and not the last time, so maybe I should embrace the unknown. And yeah, because I honestly wanted to make this structure and these videos more like a video essay than actually me yapping, but somewhere between the lines, something went wrong. But that's okay. That's okay. So, right person, wrong time. La La Land, Titanic are the only movies that I've seen this concept in. And honestly, I just remember these movies because I googled right person, wrong time today. And these were the movies that came up. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what other movies there are like with the plot right person, wrong time. I know a lot of from TV shows characters like Gilmore Girls, I forgot, Rory and Jess. Yeah, Rory and Jess. Someone could argue. Also, who's Lorelai been with? That he gave her 1,000 of daisies. Max and Lorelai, yeah, that also. Other than that, I don't know. I'm not sure. So I think that there are a few groups of people. Some think that there are such thing as right person, wrong time. Others think that if the right person, like if the person is right, the time could not be right. So it's like perception of your time. The other one is if it's wrong time, it means that the person isn't right. Like, I'm gonna explain it to you in a second. I know that the last two are very similar. Yeah, but it's not the same. Also, I wish I would write down what I'm actually talking about, because I'm at lost with my own thoughts. So they are far away ahead of me, and I just forget what I said. So first one, as I already said, some people believe that I'm noting it down with you. I'm learning with you. We both in it together. It's not a prepared thing. It's just a live conversation. So first one, yes, people believe that there is right person and wrong time. Like for example, in La La Land, is it right person, wrong time? I don't know. We will uncover that. Second one. Some people believe that if the person is right, the timing could not be wrong. While I'm I have like 2 brain cells left because it's the weekends and I spent all day cleaning up and not refurnishing, but like moving furniture around and like cleaning up and doing all these things, and I only have like 2 brain cells left, and I use them when I talk. I cannot talk and also come up with things and just write, no. My 2 brain cells are not ready for this. And if timing is wrong, I don't know if they're similar or just my head is so messed up, but that if timing is wrong, the person isn't right. Bear with me. And also, obviously, that there are people who don't believe this concept. People that don't believe like that there's right person, right time. So I wrote down 4. Even though if I'm gonna show it to you, it's gonna be 3 because I messed up and the one I didn't like. Okay, it doesn't matter. it doesn't matter. So there's 4. And maybe I'll add on while I'm going to be talking, but let's just focus on these 4. So, right person, wrong time. Interesting. I think it's the easiest one. I think it's very easy to meet someone and understand that you both develop feelings for each other, and that you have so many problems and you just like have different priorities or something, and you just like, okay, it's just that it just doesn't work. We have different priorities. We're not in the same headspace. Let's just stop. I think it's the easiest one. It's the easiest to just say he was amazing, but the timing was wrong. It's easy because you have something you blame it on. So that is what makes it easy. And for this one, I think from all of these, this is the easiest one to choose. This is like, you don't want to work on the problem with that person. Oh my god, I just got such a scare because I'm like, there's a person in front of me, and then I remembered that I live not on the first ground, like not on the first floor, and there cannot be a person standing in front of me, like, no. My ponytail one's better, but I don't know. Okay, what is going on with my ponytail? Okay, that's fine. So, let's go back to right person, wrong time. I think we all been influenced by the movies and social media, that you just meet a person with whom you click and with whom you have this amazing chemistry, who understands you, who is like second you or something. Like, this person is so amazing, and it just doesn't work because you want to move somewhere and they want to stay. Or every time I start filming these videos, I start to yawn. I don't know. I bore myself so much. But self-irony. But it's true. I've seen these concepts, and when I looked at them, I'm like, the first thing that comes to my mind is that is right person, but wrong time. Because if you have different priorities and you have different outlooks on life, and if you have different things like that, like they're very important, they're like set stones of the relationship, yeah, and you had fun with them, it's just right person, wrong time, right? It's nothing else. But in the movies of like La La Land, and I'm gonna be mainly talking about La La Land because I'm not sure, I haven't watched Titanic, I only know the concept of it. But in La La Land, they, if you are not familiar with the story, is basically, I only watched this movie once. I might not be also familiar with the story because I watched it like 3 years ago and once. But it was a big commitment. Also, I have 7% of my camera, so we might, guys, there might be, but now 6. The more I talk, the less battery it becomes. So, you might just see me in a different way. So maybe we're back. It was 1 second for you. For me, it was okay. It wasn't long for me. It was also just like a couple of seconds for me. Sorry, I hit the mic. You might have heard it. But yeah. So if you're not familiar with the storyline of La La Land, how it goes is basically 2 people with high goals meet each other, and they just fall in love, I guess. They fall in love, but then honestly I'm not quite sure because I've seen that movie 3 years ago, but I think there's something, they decide to pursue their own things. They are sitting on the bench and they're saying to each other sadly that I will always love you, and in that moment I'm like, why are you breaking up? But not in that moment, but like right now, thinking back on it, why did they break up? I don't remember. She wanted to pursue something, he wanted to pursue something, and they both had high ambitions. She wanted to be an actress, he wanted to own a jazz club because he wanted to own a jazz club or a jazz club. I don't know, maybe it was more complex than that for him. Like, his dream was more layered than that, but also remember that he was in a band. So yeah, he played on piano pretty well. Like, very good, I think. Oh my god. Now I understand that I do not know and do not remember the plot of La La Land. But basically, they met each other, they fell in love, they had a lot of arguments and fights and discussions and debates and stuff like this, and then they broke up. And fast forward 5 years, she is with her husband. She is a famous actress. She's with her husband. She just in LA walking around and decided to just step in, or he brought her to that jazz club, and the name of the jazz club is the one that her ex wanted to name it as. No, she wanted to name it as that, and he named it like that. And it was shock one. And then inside she sees him playing on piano, and then they kind of acknowledge, like, oh, let's do a couple of applause for the owner of this, or not. Maybe they didn't, because I think I think they didn't. And that is the sad story of it. They both just looking at each other, not talking, because he's playing on piano and she's the guest. She's sitting near her husband, and they just look at each other. They just half smile, painfully, tears on their eyes, and they look at each other with this kind of poignant gaze of, we got everything we wanted, but we didn't get to be together. I'm just realizing how messy my table is. So, and that what got me in the movie. These few last minutes of them just looking at each other. And this realization that they loved each other so deeply, and they didn't get to be with each other. They didn't. They achieved their dreams and they just moved on. And I saw a concept, or like a theory, or is it a real thing that, it is a real thing, that this movie basically shows that there are people in your life who mean a lot to you, but there are people in your life who's supposed to be in your life in order to help you achieve your dream. That's all. They're just gonna get you closer to your dream, and that's all. It's all that it's ever been, and that's all it's ever will be. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's poignant. It's like distress, and it's very sad and stuff like this. But it's the portrayal that they decided to show there, and that is why it's so sad. Because if you meet a person with whom you connect instantly, and who understands you, and who just, you have these deep feelings for them, and they help you to follow your dreams, and they make you feel good, and it's amazing. But I don't remember the whole story of La La Land, so I don't know. I remember they having a fight, but I don't remember, why they broke up. And if these people break up, and it's hard. It's really hard. What else could it be rather than right person, wrong time? Honestly, I'm kind of curious, why did they break up? I want to Google it. Do you think I remember the character's name? Why? I don't. Mia and Sebastian break up because they both have to prioritize pursuing their individual dreams, and their careers eventually put them apart. Their separation is a sacrifice made for personal fulfillment, highlighting that their love wasn't enough to overcome the demands of their ambition. Do you understand that? It's pretty interesting. Also, I want to make it like the light a little. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. So, something like this. Wait, I'm gonna put my ponytail. I decided the ponytail said goodbye, and I'm just gonna have a hair down like this. Doesn't matter. The point of this is not to focus on my hair. The point is that I thought that they have broken up for an entirely different reason, but this one makes sense. They decided to pursue their own dreams. They chose what they wanted, and they got it. And I still think it's dim. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push you closer, right? And that'll just be it. Just push you closer. closer. So yeah, so let's not focus on that too much. Right person, wrong time. We discussed that. It's a good possibility that it could be true. Then there's that the person is right. There's no wrong time. That this concept of you have to make it work. If that's the right person, you have to make it work. If you don't meet that much right people in your life, so you have to make it work. If you, for example, met a right person, they want to move to that country, but you don't want to move there, you have to make it work. There is no wrong time, you just it's up to you, it's your choice, but the third thing, that the timing is wrong. Timing is wrong, person isn't as right. If timing is wrong, the person isn't as right, you think. If the timing is wrong, sometimes we just confuse things and we're like, this person is so good to talk to. They are so amazing, I feel so good around them. I think they're my forever. I think they're my forever. They're my the one. But honestly, it's much more than that. It's not only the way that you communicate or how you feel. There are so many other components that like contribute to the person being the one. And it's so easy to just look at it and just like, yeah, we have this park, but they are moving to some other continent, so I'm not gonna be with them. No. Sometimes you also have to look into, is that person actually right? And there's fourth, that there's no such a thing as right person, wrong time. And I'm a believer in fourth one. I don't think that there is wrong person, right time. I don't believe in these things. I may be a little bit skeptic, or I don't know, not as romantic, but maybe I am romantic and that's why I think this way. Now I think it's much, much better. Honestly, if I'm gonna be editing it, and I'm like, nothing changed, that would be very sad. But also, I just rushed on into talking about this because I thought that this thing dies and I do not know where charger is, but turns out it's type C, and type C is very common. So, but now that I'm safe, then I can film it. I don't particularly believe in the right person, right time. Right person, wrong time. Actually, I never even thought of this concept until I, for some reason, thought of this concept and then wrote it down in my notes. And then when I was thinking of what to talk about today, I found this and I'm like, interesting that I ever thought of it, because I'm, as any person, had in my life a romantic encounter, and maybe even a few, but I was in like school and it never was serious, and I never thought of it like right person, wrong time. I never thought of it this way. Okay, maybe that's not the best way to record my thoughts and like talk to you, so I'm gonna sit up straight, even though I don't want to. I'm gonna sacrifice my comfort for the entirety of the picture. Also, I kind of hate that there's so much clutter going on here. We're just gonna, even though it's still cluttered there. Also, what would look good here? This back here, and also this. Yeah, amazing. So I never, as I said, never really thought of this concept until I saw it in my notes written down, and I always was prone to think that there is right person, wrong time. Even if it really depends on your mindset. There's one situation or like one movie, and two people with entirely two different mindset could look at it and see other things like, oh, no, this is right person, wrong time. Like, let's take La La Land, for example, and the other one could look like, no, there's no such a thing. If that would be a right person, that would make it work. They would choose each other more than their ambition, but or whatever, and even looking at my own situations in life, I think it's so easy to just, instead of making it work with someone and making this choice, this hard choice that is honestly, I think, one of the hardest choices in life, because okay, I wanted to joke and like name something obscure that could be also considered as the artist's life choice, but I didn't come up with anything. Okay, but there was a moment where I wanted to try and I wanted to do this, but it didn't happen, so it's okay. So it's one of the hardest choices. It's to choose a partner. And if something isn't working out and you see the problems, and when people don't want to work on these problems, they just put a label, right person, wrong time. I think, in my opinion, I don't know. It could be I wanted to do that. Whenever I encounter someone and I start talking to a person, in a friendship way, not in anything more, I understand that nothing could ever happen between us, even though this person is so good that they're like second me. You know, I like to throw around this phrase to people I meet. It's just like, oh, you're just like me. You're just like second me. I just like my other half. No, I never say other half. Okay, that's weird. That's or like if I were going around telling people that I'm my other half, I would be such a player, which I'm not. Maybe, I don't know. Now that I'm looking back at it, I've told it to a few people that you're like me, you're so like me, you know. It's just like, wow, insane, we're so similar, we're like the same person. Oh, I like to say the thing, we're like the same person. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I like to say that. And whenever I think of the people with whom I'm communicating, that like talking, that it could be something serious, I'm like, no. I have different dreams. I have different things. It's just I love this person so much, but it's the right person, but the wrong time. No, it's not. I'm just not ready to sacrifice the things that I have said in my head for that person. I'm not ready to sacrifice that, and that's why I call that person right person, to romanticize it and make it look like, oh, it's not about you, it's about me. And to put the situation, and because situation, like, why do we say right person, wrong time, not wrong person, good, like, correct time, or like great time, or whatever. I'm just checking whether my microphone actually is connected. So why do we say these things? Why do not we say it vice versa? Because even in this situation, we don't want to hurt other people's feeling. Okay, connection is so important to us. It's so important to us to the extent when they don't even teach it in driver's school, but in order, what I learned, because I don't have driver license, to say thank you, like if someone, like you in a car driving, and someone warns you with their, I don't even know how it's called. Oh, it's such a stupid, it's in the back of my head, it's in the tip of my tongue, I cannot remember. No, it's a very simple word. Headlights. Okay, maybe it was in my head. Okay, so someone is warning you that there's police, like, where are you going, by switching on and off their headlights, or like blinking to you with their headlights. And there's a way that you can thank them. They're the way you could, and I just, how much human connection is important to us, that we actually came up, even if it's like robustic and it's like very, we're in the cars, there's no human connection we could do with other people who are driving, and we just came up with these things to feel more human in these situations, not to just be like driving a box on the road. We came up in a way to communicate, even in this minimalistic ways, to make it communicate, to feel this connection. And we need to feel this connection, and we want to, maybe not want to, but it's maybe, yeah, we want to think about other person is better. It's better to think about other person something better. That's why we call it right person, wrong time, because we're blaming time. Time cannot get offended. Time doesn't have feelings. Time doesn't really care. Time just passes by, and yeah, sure, you want to put this fault, put this blame on the time. Great. It exists within the realms, or like outside the realms or something. It's not very specific, so it's very easy to blame it. It's very vague, so let's blame it. It's like, people should eat vegetables. It's very vague. there are some types of people and persons who need to eat more vegetables. And okay, this maybe example with vegetables is very not the best one that I could come up with, but hopefully you know what I'm referring to. So in that way, it's very vague, and because of that connection, we say that, oh, you understand? It's, I wanted this to work so much. I don't know, I thought of just leaving this connection behind and not having you and not having you in my life, and not because I thought of all of this with you, and I cannot imagine going my life without you. But I cannot even imagine anyone else but you. But it's just not the right time. How selfish is that? Even though I was almost on the verge of tears, how selfish is that? Yes, it feels hard in the moment, because we like dramatic things, in my opinion. It's so tempting to feel tragedy. It's so tempting to feel this poignancy. It's so tempting to feel the sadness, to have other people just like patting us on the back and like saying, I'm so sorry you're going through this. It's so easy to kind of bring up all these sad moments and all these sad feelings, because we all have them inside of us. It's so easy. The hardest part is to stand up tall and face them all. The hardest part is, I think, in my opinion, is to be like, it's hard. I cannot imagine my life without you. But you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna choose? I'm gonna choose to go through these obstacles. I'm gonna choose to go pursue my dream, but also keep the connection with us. And I think it's very easy when I say it like this, sure, but in reality it's not that easy. And I think, why is it not so easy? Is because we get attached to people so fast. And maybe that's a good thing, but we don't just get attached, we get super attached to people. So when someone leaves us, or when someone doesn't text us for an hour, or if someone, if we don't have this constant communication, with this constant dopamine hit, or it's very hard, the communication becomes, and the whole relationship becomes very hard. And I think it's so important to remember that you are your own person, and that person is their own person. You are two individuals coming to be together. You are not like missing pieces that lack something and you need to be together, and that you are nothing without your partner the minute you start dating them, and if you want to walk away, you're nothing without them. No, you can walk away anytime, and that is what relationship is. You have the freedom. You can walk away anytime, and your integrity and your personality and you as a person should not define on the relationship you have with that person. I think when you come into a relationship, when you feel like you need that person, like, oh my god, you know how to change a socket, I don't know what I would do without you. No, you are your own person. Nothing would happen that you couldn't live through. Nothing would happen that you couldn't deal with if you didn't have that person with you. You would have found a way to change a socket. Yeah, it's good that they come in handy and they know how to do it, but you would have found a way to change a socket. You don't need that person. You choose to be with that person. You can walk out tomorrow, and I think it's very healthy to understand that you don't need each other. You choose to be with each other. You want to spend your time together. You don't, because I feel people look at it in a very different way. They have these criteria in their minds, and they're like, I want this, this, and this, and this. I want this, and this, and this, and this. And then they become dependent on the partner so much, and they like, I need you. Maybe that's not the most romantic notion that you have ever seen or heard, but I think it's two individuals coming together, and they have to stay that way. Yeah, sure, you get used to a person, you get acquainted with a person, you start living with a person, you get married, or in any other kind of I don't know, like maybe other things gonna follow, not necessarily, but even after 10 years, I think it's very easy to smudge your personality and your own persona into that person and be like, no, we do not drink coffee. No, we're trying to lose weight. No. And in the world, the only situation when a person uses we when talking about two people is when a woman gives birth and she has maybe up to a year. I mean, I don't even know. I just heard a lot of people saying instead of my kid started walking, is it like we started walking? And that is understandable attachment to a child because it's a child, but it's still, I think, very unhealthy attachment to just, and you know what, who am I to say anything, because I don't have children. I don't know, maybe it's kind of attachment that you can't control. I'm not saying anything. I'm just like putting out my thoughts into an air. So here's that, and I think it's unhealthy attachment when you start talking about two human beings as we. Not like him and me. No, we. We are reading this together. We are doing this together. And you know what? Now that I'm mentioning it, I understand that I say these things about one person and me. Like, we are doing this. We're not doing this. We are. No, there's two individuals in this. There's you and there's that person. And I think why is it so hard to get smudged is that for women especially, they are building their identity on who their husband is. And I think it's more for men. They search for, maybe I'm wrong, but search for a partner they need, not they want. Because I think men feel like it's redundant to learn all these things. To learn how to cook, how to do laundry, how to clean, how to mop, how to vacuum, how to do all these things, how to take care of kids, how to dishwash it, how to wash dishes. All these things, they just feel like it's chores, they're redundant. And also, I talked to a friend of mine, and he is like, I cannot imagine how people have enough time in their day to cook for themselves, to do laundry, to clean up, all of this. I don't know what I would have done if these things haven't been done for me. And in that moment, I kind of put everything on the shelf for me. How people actually have to go and live separately from their parents' house to learn to do these things. Because if you're coming into a relationship because you need something, it's gonna be so hard for you to walk away when you're gonna be treated badly. And there is a high chance that you will be. I'm sorry. There is a very high chance that you would be. But I think you would be mistreated in any relationship. But there's kind of mistreatment that should not be tolerated, that you shouldn't be like, oh, yeah, let's work on it. No. There are kind of mistreatment that you just pack your bags and you're like, ciao. And if you're coming into a relationship needing something, and if you come into a relationship depending on something on your partner, this is just codependency. It's so hard gonna be for you to make the choice that you need to do, because you're relying on that person for something. When we live with our parents, they give us money, they pay for electricity, they do all these things, Maybe when we grow up and we still live with them, we have the job and we just save for something, But we cannot walk away. Children cannot walk away from their homes because they, firstly, not fully developed. Secondly, is they can't. They depend on their parents. They need their parents. They cannot live without their parents. And that's why the relationship changes when they grew up and they stop needing them, and then they move out, and then it's how often do they want to see them, not need to see them. Because if you were living with them, if for example, okay, you moved out, but they still do your laundry, they still do all these things, and you need to see them, the frequency of which you're going to be seeing them on a need basis and a want basis is going to be much different. And it's the same in any, even if we were going to be talking about some toxic situations that you could be into, not even toxic, like codependency in itself is not a very healthy thing. And that is what it is. How did I even come to it? What were I talking about that I came to codependency? Oh, right person, wrong time. No, I remembered all this time what was the topic about, but I've been talking for 43 minutes. I think it's gonna be less for you because I'm gonna cut out some parts because I talk a lot. But I think that's why. I think people are afraid to make it work because, oh my gosh, how hard it is to, there's nothing harder than a whole new person. Like, people are the most complex beings in this world. And finding a person, understanding your problems, the differences they have within each other, like the differences that you have, the problems that you have within this dynamic of a relationship, is the hardest thing in the world to make it work. Is the hardest thing. It's, they say that being single is hard, but being married is hard. This hard. Everyone chooses the hard. Yeah, but I'm used to being single. I'm used to the hardship that follows being single. And whenever I try to build, like, work on the problems with a certain person, I just understand how hard it is. How I just want to, like, come back into my own little cage and never come out, and how many times I wish we would never met and I would never know this person, and that I would never had to work through this, and how many times in my head. That is so interesting that my microphone just decided to stop recording. I mean, valid response because I've been recording for 45 minutes, but still. Okay, I've talked a lot, and I just re-listened to what was the last thing that I picked up. That is interesting. But a person in my life with whom I've tried to kind of work through the problems, and how many times I've just realized how I wish I would never meet this person, and our relationship would never come to this kind of deepness, because it is so uncomfortable. It is so complex. There is nothing much more complex in this life than another human being, and I just understand it with each acquaintance I get, or with each, like, romantic endeavor I have, or, like, close to, I don't know, I make myself sound like such a player that I don't know, have so many I don't know, it doesn't matter, but let it be. And yeah, so this concept is a very, I just checked if it's recording. So this concept is a very good thing, because it's so much easier to say that I'm sorry, but I think it's wrong time. I think you're the right person, but it's wrong time. So much easier to say than this than actually to say that I think you are the right person, but I don't want to work on our differences. I don't want to work on our problems. I don't want to wait for you to change. I don't want to wait for anything. And this thing is actually much more important for me than you, because we have this idea in our head that love is selfless. You can't be selfish in love. If you love fully. If you love, you love. It's like, in a crazy way, you love intensely, irrevocably. You love so much. You cannot put anything above love. You can. Love can be selfish. A person can love you and be selfish. A person can love you and dismiss you and not respect you, and that is just the way of a very weird love, but some people can. And love is selfish. Because we're selfish. Doesn't matter who you're gonna fall in love with. Yeah, you can bend over backwards for someone. I wouldn't say it's love, it's just your anxious attachment style. But you can do that. And you can call yourself selfless, but you still are selfish because you want that person to love like you, and that is your purpose in being so selfless. So there's nothing no, I want to say there's nothing selfless about love, but it's just love is selfish, and I don't know why it's so hard for us to grasp this concept that it's not, and we feel like it would make us a villain when we just say it like this. And also it's very hard choose to grasp on, like to understand within yourself what you feel about this. You just understand that you don't want to pursue this person, that there is something that you want, something more than this person. So that's why we say right person, wrong time, because we don't want to search for the words. We don't want to do this because it's hard. We rarely understand ourselves. It takes so much time to understand ourselves. It's a skill that should be taught throughout life. And when you don't understand yourself, and especially like the situation, if you don't understand yourself, you won't understand the situation. And it's just easier to say that right person, wrong time, instead of I understand that I want these dreams and this pursuit much more than this person, even though I cannot imagine my life with this person, but waiting for them to change is actually so excruciating, painfully, and I don't want to do this, and I just want some peace and quiet, and so this is a nice concept to make our life easier, because we always, and for normal reason, I think we always did that, we try to avoid hardship or try to make life easier. Even this video that you're watching, you could have read a book about right person, wrong time, and it would contain much more knowledge other than just feeling the words and yapping or whatever. And the same, like this phone, it can do anything, and with time it becomes more and more and more of what it can do, and it's because of the convenience, because we want to minimize hardship. You'd want to talk on the phone when you're delivering pizza. Okay, you can text. You don't want to talk to a therapist and see them. Okay, you can text. You don't want to use your hands to search for something there. It's okay. You can turn on the feature that is gonna follow your eyes, and you're gonna be pressing buttons with your eyes. So everything around us is made for us to have more pleasant life. And this phrase is also, it's made for us to have more pleasant life. If I think you're the right person, but it's just the wrong time, and I really would want us to work, but we just can't. It's so easy to say this. I mean, much easier than dig deeper and understand that you're just not ready to wait for other person to change, and they don't want to change, and you to understand how selfish sometimes we're being, and it's reasonably so. We have to be selfish in situations because that is our nature. We have to care about ourselves. We have to put ourselves first. Even if you're in a relationship, you also have to put yourself before your partner. Because if you're going to put your partner before you, you are idolizing them. That is not a relationship. That is like a worship of a human, and that is not healthy in any way. You have to put yourself first. And that means being selfish. It's a great concept, right person, wrong time. But if we're looking past concept, just, is it true? I don't think so. It's my opinion. I'm not forcing it to you. But I think you can make it work with any person. I think you can fall in love with any person in the world. Would it be hard? No. The question should have been, would it be easy? No. With any person, would it be easy? Each person brings their own set of difficulties. And you just have to choose whether you're ready to deal with this set of difficulties. Some people are horrible communicators. Some people are horrible at texting. Some people are just, I don't know, for the life of them, they have like, I don't know, annoying habits or something, and they annoy you, or some people just don't. I don't even know what to give as an example. Some people, a lot of people, have unhealthy attachment styles, and that could just ruin everything. And you also have to choose whether you're ready to sit there waiting for them to work on it, whether they want to. I think the first one is a very interesting concept. The two is something in between, and the fourth one is true. Because there's nothing scarier than understanding that it's all up to you. Even if you're Christian, there's still no mention in the Bible that God has set out one person for you, that it's written in the stars. No, nothing like that. You can pray, you can ask for wisdom, for guidance, but at the end of the day, it's your choice. I think that's the hardest pill to swallow. That it's all up to us. It's not fate. It's not something magical. It's not something beyond us. It's no one else is responsible but we. And when you have dynamic with a second person, like with other person, there's only two of you. There's no one is gonna like, I don't even know. It's all up to you, what I mean. You know? It's all up to you. But these concepts are just make our life easier. And as I said, I don't know if I said it, but it's like, it's much more easier for me to just stretch out my hand and take, for example, vitamin D, than actually go into the sun and just walk around for, I don't know, 30 minutes to get vitamin D, or eat some things that have vitamin D. I don't even know if they're food that has vitamin D, but it's so much easier to put it into, you know. But the outcome is going to be the same. I'm going to get vitamin D. Maybe not that quality, but the outcome is the same. When I say this phrase, it's not me, it's you. It's just like, drinking this vitamin D. I'm just like, okay, that's fine for now. But when I go out in the sun to get the vitamin D, is the equivalent of me understanding what? Why do I think it's a wrong time? Why do I think it's a right person, but not right time? Why it's like, it's harder, takes you out of your comfort zone, you know, but something that helps in a while. And I think time to time, like I think 70% of the time using this phrase is good, but sometimes you also have to dig deeper into your things, your own thoughts. So yeah, that's a very interesting episode. I initially came to this without any thoughts whatsoever, and I just love how my thoughts appeared out of the thin air. So, but thank you so much for this, for being with me, for sticking until the end. I don't know if you got something from it. I'm very happy. Also, as I always do, if you're new and you do not know, I always give a hug at the end of the video, and if it makes you uncomfortable, you can pause the video now and finish it and do something else, whatever your heart desires, wisely, like whatever your heart desires in a good way, you know. Maybe you want to read a book for a very long time. I think that is my I have a mix of Ukrainian and English in my head. It's my, I don't know, it's just me making you or reminding you about a book you wanted to read, or maybe a movie you wanted to watch, or maybe a friend you wanted to catch up with. Life is beautiful. Also, it's autumn. I love autumn. Autumn is the best season for me. So you know what? Maybe I'll upload more this fall. Yeah. I have a pretty great mood, and I hope you do too. And you'll have an amazing day, evening, and week, and your life. And maybe not your life, because I think we'll see each other again, hopefully. So I'm not gonna go as far as saying your whole life, because I'm hoping to see you again. Okay, I'm gonna give you a hug and call it a day. Love you. Bye.